John Calipari up in Lexington doing some twerking, some Miley Cyrus twerking. This is Catfish here. Thanks for tuning in. We're bringing it to you live from the Volunteer Roadshow Studios in Jacksonville, Florida. And we've got a show in store for you guys today. We're going to start out by talking about my Tennessee Vols. And I told you on the last basketball video I made that we was going to beat Texas A&M, and that's what we did. And Grant Williams kind of slumped a little bit, but I was glad to see the other supporting cast around him step up and fill in for Grant Williams off night. And we got a big win. We went on into Missouri, and I knew this was going to be a tough game with Quanzo Martin. He had a lot to prove. He kind of left on a bad note here at Tennessee, and I really like Quanzo, but you had to know he wanted this victory, and he got it. I mean, Tennessee started out pretty good, and the leading three-point shooting team is Missouri in the SEC, and they couldn't buy a three-pointer in the first half, but they brought it on in the second half, and just like all of Quanzo Martin's team, they played good hard-nosed D, and they made some clutch free throws there at the end to seal the victory. And we went on to South Carolina, went down to Columbia, South Carolina, got a victory, 63-70 against the Gamecocks down there, and now we're coming back home. We've got a victory under our belt. We're playing a struggling Vanderbilt team, and they're normally pretty strong, but this year they're just not getting it done, and they're going to have to come into Thompson Bowling Arena and play a better Tennessee team. I know we've lost 5 games this year, but you have to admit, all the Tennessee fans out there, if we would have asked you before the season if you'd have been happy with sitting at 13-5, a lot of you said, heck yeah, we would have. And I think we're going to make a run into the SEC tournament and really play some strong basketball. At least that's what I'm hoping for. And Rick Barnes said he really would like to see a lot more reliability and consistency out of the team, and I think he's going to get that. I told you in my last video that I really thought that he would be further along and have this team further along when we hired him than where he's at right now. But he's starting to get it together. He didn't have a lot to work with. We're starting to get some recruits in there. Grant Williams, I told you on my last video, he's really going to be our horse that we're going to ride if we're going to make it deep into the tournament. And I'd like to get into what everybody has been waiting for and why they clicked on this video, this John Calipari twerking. I've got Josh back in the studios, got a clip for you here, and he's going to play this. You got it, Josh? Hey, Josh. Oh, you say he's not twerking, he's tweaking. Oh, I thought this said in my notes, twerking. Oh, well, that makes all the difference in the world. I'll tell you what, we're going to play you a clip here with John Calipari. I thought it was going to be him and Miley Cyrus twerking, but he's tweaked a few things, and that ought to scare a lot of people across the country. When John Calipari says he's tweaking something, 9 times out of 10, a lot of good things follow. So here's the clip of him tweaking, not twerking.
The thing that has made us look a little bit, we haven't been making any threes. So when you're not making threes, now a team starts sagging in, and as much as we drive the whole game, the other team's just trying to stop our driving. But I don't think it's going to be an issue as we go forward. I just don't. I mean, from Shea to Wenyon to Quad A to Kevin Knox. I mean, we got 3-point shooters that just, they hit a skid right now, and now we got to start making some shots. But we are tweaking offensively different things to try to see what these guys do and play better with. But, yeah, there are times they look a little out of sync. And I would say to you, Johnny, when the team passes and they create shots for each other, they don't look out of sync. When they're not playing for each other, they're all trying to get their own shot, and then if I can, I'll pass it. That looks out of sync.
Y'all heard him. He said he's tweaking some things. They're not hitting the threes, but if there's anybody in the country that can turn his team around and actually tweak some things and get some production out of his change-ups and adjustments, it's John Calipari. I know that it was a lot of you Vol fans out there remember when he was at Memphis State or Memphis, whatever they're being called now, and we beat them and went to #1 the first time in our program's history. You know, there was a lot of bad blood with John Calipari in Tennessee, and I'm sure that hasn't gone away, but you got to tip your hat. He's the #1 coach in the conference and maybe the country. And he's always got NBA talent on his roster, and always seem to have a one-and-done player on the team or several one-and-done players on the team. Because they started out as a top 5 team, and everybody looked for them to be Final Four bound, and they've slipped a little bit the last couple of weeks. But I really think Calipari is going to have them ready for the SEC tournament. They're going to make a big run, and really they're the team to beat. As much as they're slumping right now, they'll get it back together, and we've got to play them here February 6th, and that's going to be a great game. And I always like playing Kentucky, and I always want them to be good, so when we beat them, we've got something to brag about. And I really think we're playing the best basketball we've played since Bruce Pearl's days, and I really look forward to the tournament and having some classic basketball games, because right now, from here on out until about September, Tennessee is officially a basketball school. We're getting it back together. I really look for good things. Holly Warlick's got the women's basketball team playing strong this year after a few years of not really performing that well. But I see a lot of Pat Summitt in Holly, and I think she's going to really recruit well and coach the team up, and she does a lot of things like Pat does, and she was a legendary coach, the best in the business. So I really want you guys to comment in the comment section and tell me what you think about the Tennessee men's basketball team, and anybody else that are fans of other team, talk about your team. I love seeing fans comment. And for you first time viewers or those that haven't actually subscribed to my channel, take a time to subscribe to my channel. That's the best way you can help old Catfish out, is to subscribe to my channel, and check out my Facebook page, Volunteer Roadshow. Thanks for tuning in. The Tennessee men's and women's basketball teams are going to the Final Four. I promise you that.